You're invited to join us for our Sedona Transcendence Retreat, taking place during the fall equinox, September 21st through the 23rd, in the powerful vortex of Sedona, Arizona. This event features channelers who will be teaching channeling, as well as teachers who will be teaching powerful transcendence tools and techniques. There'll be vortex journeys out on the land, as well as interactive indoor workshops, plus a CE5 Contact Under the Stars event, hosted by Ruben Langdon. I am your host, Suzanne Ross, and I'm delighted to introduce to you two of the channelers who will be channeling and teaching channeling at this phenomenal retreat, Georgia Jean and Cendrine Souvenir. Georgia, Cendrine, and I will all be presenting, offering workshops, and also guiding journeys out on the land into Sedona's sacred vortex sites. During this discussion, we explore what we will be presenting about, what we'll be exploring and offering. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I am so excited to be here with Georgia Jean and Cendrine Souvenir, because they are going to be presenting, teaching a workshop, and guiding an outdoor journey at my Sedona Transcendence Retreat, taking place during the fall equinox here in the powerful vortex of Sedona. Welcome, Georgia Jean.
Hi, great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Cendrine.
Thank you so much, Suzanne, for having me.
And I got connected with Georgia Jean through interviews with extra dimensionals hosted by Ruben Langdon. And I found Cendrine through her spiritual ministry. And so both of these ladies channel otherworldly beings, but they also have their own programs, services, offerings. And so we're just going to take a minute. Georgia, you can start by just telling us a little bit about yourself, what you do and offer, and who you channel.
Hi, everybody. So I'm Georgia Jean. In 2004, I had a knock you to the floor spiritual event where I connected with my guides, the Circle of Light. And since then, we've been through many initiations to increase the volume and the frequency and the nature of the teachings that we've been channeling and sharing, our piece of the the cosmic puzzle, helping with the evolutionary shift on the planet. A big focus of our work recently has been the importance of heart centering as you're opening up energetically, and just generally as we're trying to build a new personal and collective reality. Heart centering is very key way to bypass the illusions that are generated by the mind. And so in the workshops that I want to present, it will be about expressing the importance of heart centering, because it can sound kind of fluffy and woo woo, like, wow, there's gonna be unicorns everywhere or something, but it's actually an essential way to ground us into the new reality and make sure that we're not generating the new reality with the same problems that our mind-based reality has been doling out humanity for eons and eons, which is steeped in kind of the illusion of separation and polarity and survival consciousness. So heart centering is a very specific tool that should be used as a gateway for any expansion in consciousness. So when we get to our next level of consciousness, we've truly bypassed the illusions and the falsehoods, quote unquote, that the mind would generate. And particularly when you're opening up your multi-dimensional abilities, this can become really important and actually kind of create a lot more safety, because as you lower the density of the ego to open up the multi-dimensional capacity, you're increasing the speed and the volume of energy that's running through your system, which will, if you're still seated in your mind, will amplify the illusions of the mind. And this is where I have a lot of clients who've actually made themselves quite sick through opening up through the mind and really amplifying those polarities into the multidimensional, which is like dark forces and, evil entities, and really starting to manifest some really disturbing experiences because they were opening up without being seated correctly, seated well in the heart, in the place that will bypass that. So that's a big, a really important thing that's going on right now that we'll be sharing, as well as information about how multidimensional abilities are actually, how the brain processes multidimensional information to create a visceral multidimensional experience. And so as part of my offering, I wanted to pre-pave the way by giving this thing that we call the gift bag. It's an offering that I developed because the tools are coming in so quickly right now. I wanted to have a lightweight way to get the latest tools to everybody, as well as important kind of current energy information that's going on. And once you're in the gift bag program, you never have to pay for it again. You just get, there's like some content that's very important for our teachings, a core love and acceptance tool, the core heart centering tool, and also this new tool, the de-anchoring tool, which is very important right now. As well as rotating gifts every month, which will support the current energies as I see them coming in. Once you're in this program, once you receive the gift bag, which we're giving to the VIP and the preferential people, it will help you attune to the energies of the circle of light that I channel by beginning the process of deconstructing the defenses of the mind to allow the new frequencies to actually come in and embody and embed, because that's what's going to get you actually having a visceral, almost physicalized multidimensional experience, rather than just learning these things as a concept, but not really being able to embody and therefore experience your gifts and abilities and stuff. So the gift bag is to help you pre-attune to the energies and the teachings that you'll be receiving at the workshop, and that will extend we'll be able to, share more in less time if you have some basic understanding of why we use certain tools that we use, and then we can really deep dive. So yeah, and our outdoor journey, I think we'll be doing using this powerful new tool, the de-anchoring tool, which is something that has been coming in the last few months, and it's about giving ourselves permission to really disconnect from the energy grid that supports the old 3D storylines, and to de-anchor from that. When you de-anchor from that, it really helps you move into the 5D vibrational frequency, because there's literally nothing powering your creative projector to generate those stories anymore, personally and collectively. And we do this by de-anchoring and regrounding into the 5D grid. So using a vortex in Sedona is going to be like super powerful, because we're doing this work to generate a new viscerally experienceable reality, not just feeling better, but experiencing better personally and collectively. So that's kind of what we've been up to for the last 20 years, figuring out how to do all this stuff. But we're really moving into a very exciting phase, because we're allowed to, the 5D grid has been built strong enough that we're allowed to kind of use these very short, very fast tools now that we weren't prepared energetically to use before. So we're going to be sharing those, and that's what some of the material in the gift bag is outlining those for you.
Thank you. I'm sure everyone will greatly appreciate the opportunity to tune in to all that you do and offer through the gift bag. And I love the idea of sort of preparing them energetically, mentally, and spiritually, for the experience with you.
Particularly for channeling, because it's a little bit different from when a human is teaching. They're teaching usually from their human self, let's just put it this way. When someone's channeling and they're bringing in a big volume of energy that's actually more, non-physical, extra dimensional, multidimensional, that's more confronting for the human biology, the student, to receive without almost pre-attuning somewhat to the energies. So the nervous system and the old 3D egoic body mind system is prepared to receive that and to actually go through the stronger change that often happens when you connect with multidimensional energy. And I also have a lot of free recordings on my website, Circle Evolution, too, for that purpose, for people to start to listen and let that process of the deconstruction of the 3D body mind defenses to happen, so they can really receive what's coming in without it being so kind of whoa what's all this then, you know.
Thank you. Yes, and that is circleevolution.com. Cendrine Souvenir, it's so lovely to have you with us, and I'm just so thrilled you're going to be joining us at the retreat. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do and offer, who you channel, and also you have a special gift.
Thank you for the opportunity. So, about my human journey is that I was born with this ability to connect to different realities and realms. And it was, I never learned about that. It was just natural, but it was really destabilizing. So I consciously prayed God and all my angels to close my ability. So I did that over a couple of years. And so I closed myself more or less fully, because still I had very vivid experiences, mostly with demons, entities, and really unpleasant frequencies, and also with very, galactic beings, but it was all over the place. So I was really disempowered. I had like a very human life, it was very good on many levels and then very intense on many levels. So as I found myself kind of moving more and more into the density of this empowerment and separation from my own heart, I was finding myself really unhappy with life. So I had to change my life completely, which is what I did. So I've got kids, I'm divorced, I live in New Zealand when I'm originally from Belgium, and all of these experiences have really brought me into the realization that there is no point in having gifts and abilities to connect with other realms of realities if we actually don't do the inner work to be happy and then to be of service of humanity. So from that point, I have really decided to just do the inner work every single day and try to look on understanding what's happening with me, how to control my abilities, why are they there for, what does it mean, who are the beings that I connect with precisely. So I've been doing a lot of yoga. I'm the third generation of yoga teacher in my family, so I've really embraced that lineage as giving me the discipline necessary to actually work with my body, but also with my mind, and to meditate. And that, that has really changed my life. So I practice a lot of yoga, pranayama, meditation daily. Otherwise, my energy very easily goes all over the place. But now that I understand my own sovereign soul blueprint, that I'm in constant connection with my high council of light, I kind of like, I can penetrate the field and take quantum leap after quantum leap into the embodiment of my own sovereignty, but also into serving others and just being a force of change as much as God wants me to. So the council that I channel, I call them, it's my high council. It's kind of like my friends, it's my family, and I've got to know them. So there's like many dragons, I've got many galactics. There are also ascended masters, different angels and archangels, as well as beings from the earth, from the inner earth, and different shamans and so on. So they kind of like speak as one voice through me. Now, something that was really a turning point in my life was when I started channeling the Arcturians, because that's extremely potent. It has really activated all the different kind of light language as well, and a lot of excitement. And they have really allowed me to feel really the embodiment of the galactics, of everything that they share through me. So I love what Georgia said, because I can really relate to the need for human beings to really work from the heart, because the teachings that we share is always about embodying the truth of our own divinity. So a lot of people that come in my field that want to receive our teachings, because I teach about accessing channeling abilities, activating pineal gland, connecting with galactics and so many different beautiful beings of the light. And I really appreciate that people want to do that, because that was also me. I want to do all of these things, but it was, coming all from the mind, exactly as Georgia was saying. So I was experiencing these very broad experiences between like having experiences with dark forces and experience with light beings, because everything was coming from the mind, from my ego. I did not know otherwise, but because I really pay attention to what I was feeling and receiving, I really went into more of the journey of embodiment, which is very much like being a mom, choosing happiness, choosing love as my guiding force, try to be, to find joy in all the things, and, being there with all the humans and being like a good friend, and, also be there for my students. So that has changed the game, because the refinement we can find in our channeling abilities by working from the heart, it's impossible to express them, because the heart is the portal of the soul. It is the quantum technology that allows us to connect with very ascended beings of the light, because they can come to us because they can see that we are doing the work of embodying our unique soul blueprint. And so therefore we can hold more light. And when we can hold more light, people that come in our field, they can also tap into the light that we channel through our own heart, through our own selves, but it activates also that capacity in them. Because I really work a lot with the quantum teachings, quantum technologies and things like that. And we really have to realize that when we come together, so it's already happening through a screen like this, but in person, it's like multiplied by, thousands and thousands. It's that there is this system that happens when we exchange codes and frequencies. So people that come in my vortex, like people that would come in, Suzanne and Georgia's vortex, you would instantly feel everything that you have that's within you that is already ready to be upgraded and activated. And because you come in my field and I have activated all of that already, it's kind of like it's very easy to copy paste these codes and to activate. It's like I become a key for you, but you become a key for me, because maybe you have activated divine union. I have not yet. Maybe you have activated levels of abundance that I might not have activated yet, and so on, like maybe self-healing and God knows what. It can be as simple as maybe you have activated a level of gratitude that I might not have. So it's constantly giving and receiving. So we work from breaking all pedestals between people, because yes, I might be a teacher, I might do all of these things, but I'm simply human. Like when I don't teach, when I don't do all of these amazing things, I go back to my reality and I'm like, okay, so what's next? What to do next? And everything that unfolds is me embodying the teachings that I share every single day. So I walk the talk. So we are very excited because for me and my high council, being able to come to Sedona and see people in person is just going to be absolutely unique. So there will be, of course, the presentation, and there will be the journey. And the journey will happen in this beautiful space that is outdoor and that we already energetically connect with as we share this. So we will be able to connect with the grid of the land, the ancestors of the land, and to receive the guidance on really how to open up and create an especially potent portal, working as one with Ascended Gaia, as one with all the amazing ancestors that have walked the path before us and that are still here to create, the space of evolution and amazing experiences. Because I personally feel and believe, like it's in my heart as my truth, that ancestors, ancient civilizations, they were deeply connected to galactics. They were receiving so many teachings, informations about galactics. So the ancestors from Sedona, the Apache over there, they will be able to speak through me and open portals to be able to connect with the galactics that are willing to flow through me. So I'm sure that I will end up going into deep trance state, transitioning the Arcturian as the main voice of my own connection, but the Arcturians, they're a fun channel any being that is present, any being of the light. It could also be dragons, as we connect as well with will be able to share very potent messages, but as well take you on a journey because of my my ability to easily do quantum travels and to connect with that. And because you will be there present within me, I will be a key for your own journeys. So it means that very often when people come and they have journeys with me, it becomes much easier to see things, to hear things, to feel things, because for me it's just like so open and they are in my energy field, because I allow people to come in my energy. I allow people to plug in my system for the time of the session. Then it goes like this. So it's one of my favorite things actually to facilitate journeys. So I'm really, really excited to be able to do that. And for the gift, I'm so happy to be able to share a star race bundle. So I co-create with my High Council, and within that High Council, there are 5 star races that I interact more with. So it's the Actorians that I trans-channel, but there is also the Syrian Council that is also my family, because a lot of people, they want to know what star seed they are. We can be a bunch of different origins, okay? So yes, I'm Arcturian, I'm also Syrian. I also connect with Andromedans, Palladians, and Blue Avians. So they are the ones that I have put there on my wall because I like to have my galactic family around. And so I have created this bundle so people can go on quantum journeys and to really go into the realms of each of these star races. So it's really just guided journey. So you get to see what it's like in the Palladians, what it's like on Arcturus, feel the energy, how different it is, and naturally feel how close you might be with a star race or not. But also like maybe, oh, that could be my family, or this one I had never heard of before, but I really like their style, because during these journeys we can also receive some information about the way that each star race can help us individually. So it is very, very exciting, because often it helps to open just like these different doors to different realms, and to connect with beautiful beings of the light in the comfort of our home. So I'm really excited to be able to share all of that. And we will be teaching on channeling, because me and my High Council, we come from the angle of understanding, co-creation with alternate realities, that everybody has the ability to channel. It's just that we have not learned how to do that. And so we will be sharing about your abilities to channel, and it can be really interactive, so you can see where you are at, what you desire, and we can also reply through all like channeled information. So it will be really potent for you to be able to understand more how you function with different intuitive modes, different brain, different system, and what you are interested into channeling and why, to be able to really anchor yourself more into your heart, bypass limitation of the mind, and then realize that mostly you are already channeling. It's just that you're not sure that it's happening. You don't realize that you're doing it. So it's going to be really practical as well as very quantum and galactic. So yay!
Thank you, Cendrine and Georgia. I am so delighted to be offering a presentation called The Soul Behind the Simulation. Many people talk about we live in a simulation, which sort of gives the idea of binary code running in a computer program somewhere, and somebody behind the scenes is a gamer playing a virtual reality games with our Sims, right? And there may be some truth to that in some concepts of a virtuality. But I feel it's really important to stress the truth that we are more than computer animated Sims in a virtual reality game. We are sourced by the divine. Divine consciousness flows through us as divine love and light. The DNA codes within us are light codes. We are here on a soul's mission. Our particular mission during this retreat is dedicated to the awakening and ascension of humanity. And so we're fulfilling our soul's mission from a heart-centered, soul-inspired place of sincerity, authenticity. And so this idea of a virtuality is somewhat true in the sense that we have a source self. We, as an eternal soul, in an existential reality at the core of creation, the source universe, sometimes called the central universe. And at the core of the central universe, the paradise core, the portal between eternity that has a beginning and no ending, and infinity, beginningless and endless consciousness, from within which everything emerges. And so our realities in space-time are being projected by our eternal souls from this central universe, settled in the eternal now moment, which is existential in nature, the beings there existing. And this is one way to know thyself. This journey of the one great self through eternity and in space-time is all about knowing thyself. The one great self awoke in this infinite field of pure consciousness and recognized its self as the one I am. And then had a desire to go on a journey of self-discovery, to know thyself as the I am. And this desire led the one great self to become the divine Trinity in this field of pure consciousness and infinity. And there they rested in a state of unity, in bliss, in their union. But then they had a stirring to create and needed a place that had a beginning and no ending in order to start creating. They needed a place with a beginning. And so the divine Trinity reflected upon itself and created a portal into eternity, right? The first central universe, as they became the creative Trinity. And together they created this central universe, all of these beautiful beings and things, all in their perfect divine blueprint. Then this became a way to know thyself through creating and being in this paradisiacal existential reality. But then these beings had a desire to know thyself in a different way, through doing and experiencing. And so these eternal souls are a mirror image of the one great self as the divine Trinity expressing itself in four directions as the four elements, like the zodiac wheel, creating the 12 personalities or the 12 archetypes, if you will. And the souls that were created also express themselves as their 12 personalities, as the 12 archetypes. And in creating this space-time hologram into which they could project their 12 personalities into 12 dimensions, Theosophy would say that the soul as the monad projects 12 aspects of its personality into each of 12 dimensions for 144 soul extensions. And so the eternal soul behind the scenes, then, the one mentally projecting these holographic fractals of itself into this space-time hologram, does, in a sense, become like the gamer behind the scenes, playing these virtual reality games with the holographic fractals that it's projecting into these different matrices or matrix dimensions and timelines within the dimensions, right? And so we have a potential of projecting as eternal souls 144 soul aspects according to Theosophy. As holograms go, each holographic fractal still contains the whole. So even if you are a holographic fractal of your eternal soul, you are still the whole hologram. You are your eternal soul. And because you're streaming consciousness with your eternal soul, you have the ability to tune into your eternal soul essence and be the one observing all of who you're being in all of the different timelines and dimensions. It's all you. So you also have the ability to tune in to all of the other aspects of who you're being in different third dimensional timelines. And that's why past life regressions are possible. I like to call them timeline regressions because they're not always in the past. Sometimes they're in the future. As we come to this time of the great shift, many are finding it to be important to do a soul reunion with all of who they are being in the third dimensional timeline so they can return to wholeness in the third dimension before ascending into the next higher dimension. And so there can be karmic entanglements that are happening in these other timelines where there being another personality in another space and place and time. And so this is the time when a lot of us are doing a lot of work around releasing karmic entanglements. And oftentimes we show up in these different timelines with the same other soul family members that we are having other experiences with in other timelines. And maybe they're showing up in a different role now as a mother or a father or a lover or a friend, but we're still working out our karmic attachments or karmic entanglements with them. Now that we're coming to the time of the great shift and we're wanting our soul to ascend into the next higher dimension, we're resolving those karmic entanglements. We're untangling the knots that are keeping us attached to this dimension so that we can ascend freely. Right? We're no longer knotted into this dimension, right? We're untangling ourselves from this dimension, okay, so that we can be free to ascend. Then we move through the fourth dimensional astral realm, right? Many believe we're in the fourth dimension now. The Hopi here in Sedona believe that the third age ended at the time of the Great Flood or the biblical flood, which would be over 12,000 years ago, when they were ushered into the inner earth by the ant people. And there in the inner earth, these ant people taught them advanced ways of living and being, like holistic healing, like drumming and chanting to raise the vibration, because their star ancestors, the Syrians, told them that they too were from the star system Sirius B, and that they had volunteered to come to Earth on a mission to bring balance, peace, equanimity, and harmony to Mother Earth and all of her children, including the plant and animal kingdom. So these beings in the inner Earth taught them how to raise the vibration to create a higher frequency of love and peace and unity and harmony. They say when they emerged on the surface after the floodwaters receded, that they were emerging into the fourth age. That would mean we've been in the fourth age now then for 12,000 years, right? And we know that in truth, the solar system is on an elliptical path, 12,000 years of a descending arc into a dark age and 12,000 years on an ascending arc into a golden age. And so what if, we have come to this point at the end of this 12,000 year cycle into the golden age, this opportunity to get off what Buddhism would call the wheel of separation and suffering, so that we have the opportunity then to ascend now during a golden age, to get off the wheel, right? And so during the fourth age, which is often called the realm of choice, where there are angels and demons and light and dark, and the soul is making a choice to either turn away from the darkness and into the light, maybe they're not done learning through separation and suffering, chaos and confusion. And maybe they're done learning in that way and they're seeking more harmony, peace, and unity, right? And so they choose the light. They choose to serve the light, to be light bearers, right? And then they're given many different examinations, right? They're tested to see just how selflessly they're willing to serve the light, right? And so if they raise their light quotient enough, do enough of the inner work, right, to release any fear, blame, shame, guilt, resentment, right, doing the inner work and clearing all that shadow energy out, then they start vibrating at a higher vibrational love light frequency, right? And they are dedicated to service, to serve the awakening and ascension of others so that they can raise the light quotient of others and bring more of a collective 5D frequency to create a new earth experience, right? And so that is how then they can up level in the game. And so back to us sort of being avatars in this virtual reality game, right? Being played by our eternal soul essence, making a point there. We are never being played, if you will. We always have free will. That is the rule of the space-time game, that all of the avatars always have the free will choice to choose their thoughts, words, and actions. We may be nudged by our eternal soul essence to up level in the game, because what's the purpose of any virtual reality game is to level up to the next level of the game, to become a master gamer, right? To master the third dimensional reality so that you can then progress and evolve into the next level of the game, which is 5D, right? And so my talk and my presentation is all about mastering the game of life as an avatar in space-time. And one way we do that is to connect into our eternal soul essence so that we can be playing this game together, so that we as a whole being can co-create our reality and how it unfolds and that which we want to manifest, as long as that which we want to manifest is in alignment with our pure intention to serve the highest good for all, always. I'll also be offering a workshop about mastering the game of life and giving some very powerful transcendence tools and techniques. I'll be offering an outdoor journey as a Sedona tour guide for several years now. I am a permitted guide here in Sedona, and I offer vortex journeys out on the land to people who are coming here from all over the country, from all over the world. And I bring sound healing, crystal bowls, tuning forks. I bring chimes. I bring my drum. I burn sage if it's not wildfire season. And I guide people on this very deep journey, connecting into the heart of Mother Earth, coming up, awakening the Kundalini energy, pulling that Kundalini energy up through the spine on a chakra journey, and then coming through the third eye to open the third eye, and then opening the crown portal and ascending into the 8th chakra, the Merkaba light vehicle. And we may even go into the upper chakras, which would be the oversoul orb, right? The omni brain. And so I'm very excited to be offering a presentation, a workshop, and an outdoor journey. Of course, I'm also the creator of the Sedona Transcendence Retreat. I feel it is my true calling to create beautiful events where like-minded souls can come together and have these incredible experiences, receiving wisdom teachings, engaging in spiritual practices, really raising their vibrational frequency, and creating more peace, unity, and harmony. It's all about spreading the love and light. I really look forward to both of you offering your workshops and presentations and journeys, and I'm hoping that I can participate personally in some of what you're doing and offering, because it all sounds so integrational and assimilating and expanding and uplifting. I know that, right now we're receiving some pretty powerful solar flares carrying some really high frequency, supercharged, encoded photonic energy, right? And
Yeah.
so it's really important for teachers like yourself to up level the light quotient of the attendees, who can then assimilate more easily
Yeah.
the high vibrational frequencies. Georgia, can you speak to that?
Yes, 100%. I'm really glad you brought this up, because I'm like, oh yeah, I got something to say about this, because um since I've been channeling, for 20 years, just about, um, there are a lot of things that you kind of learn along that way. And as Cendrine was talking about, the personal self-development work is so important, because as I said before, as you're bringing in all these higher frequencies, that your mind actually doesn't know what it is yet, and it starts to try and put the pieces in. It leads to a lot of sort of projectional distortion, basically. And a lot of people are rapidly awakening right now. I get calls or emails all the time. It's like, I was just a housewife and suddenly I can hear my neighbor's thoughts. And is he in love with me? It's just like people having these rapid awakenings, because that's the nature of the sort of evolutionary shift right now. There's wave after wave of energy coming through, awakening one wave. And then that wave is kind of like, what the hell's going on? Again, figures it out and learns some stuff. And then there's more of us to kind of teach the next wave and the next wave, and that's why bigger waves are coming through now, because there's more of us who are more conscious of the process, and can actually help with the integration part, because that projectional distortion, and you can kind of see what's been going on over the last couple of years with the rise of polarity, the rise of the illusion of separation, the rise of actual a lot more of survival consciousness. It's all this stuff that's getting pushed up from the ego mind, because those awakening waves are coming through. And what most people are lacking is the integration tools to actually take the energy from that and turn it into the expansion, because all of that junk that's coming up is energy. When you have the correct integration tools and assimilation tools, you can harvest the energy from that dirge that's sort of rising to the surface, and this is what creates the expansion. And that's going on collectively, but whenever you are moving into your next level of consciousness, which could be happening with these awakening waves and the solar flares and the Schumann flares, all the things that are going on right now, personally, it's going to activate the egoic stuff in resistance to arise first. And this is where people get caught a lot of times in a little bit of a cycle of suffering, because they're confused. Yeah, like, why am I, I'm doing this spiritual work, but there's demons in my bedroom and stuff like that. It's because they haven't integrated that egoic function, and people are using more things like ayahuasca, more things like DMT to do the soul cracking, to bypass the mind, but they're not having the tools to do that very important integration work. So, and as also Cendrine was sharing, when you work with people who've done a lot of that work, we are holding those energetic codes to entrain you into that state. So more than just, say, teaching you about heart centering, the resonant fields that we have, if we've done a lot of that work, will actually help to activate and strengthen your heart center. So it becomes more magnetically attractive to pull your consciousness out of the portal of the mind and into the heart, where you can safely open up, and that awakening wave, or whatever it is that you may be experiencing, to push you into your next level of consciousness, can happen more easily. I always say that the heart center is like the eye of the storm, and a lot of people get caught in the egoic tornado. It's the awakening process, and then they're trying to tidy up the tornado, like, oh, let's put this over here and this over here. But the eye of the storm is really the heart, and that's really, again, if you look collectively, everybody's trying to tidy up the eye of the storm, the tornado, by telling everybody else what to do and what's the right thing to do, and you should be doing this, you should be doing that, instead of going into the eye of the storm where we can bypass and pop through into our next level of consciousness. And I'll just finish by saying this: the big part of this journey is surrender, because if you knew what the next level of consciousness was, whether that's a personal thing or whether it's the future of humanity as a collective, you would already be experiencing it. We cannot know what the visceral next version of reality is until we are manifesting it. And all of that stuff that we start to fill in the gaps with, like, I've got visions of the whole world exploding or this or that, is actually the mind generating something to fill in the space. And this is why coming into the heart and practicing more of surrender and receiving is how we'll actually receive our next level of consciousness. We have to bypass the control of the mind to actually get there. So these are kind of things you learn along the way. Having had a few kind of wild experiments of our own, we want to assist the collective going through this a little bit more gracefully, by sharing the tools and taking some of the pain out of those initiations and getting to the fun stuff faster, basically getting actually into the next levels and the magical stuff and the stuff Cendrine was talking about, that kind of being able to file download off each other, which is something that I actually do a lot as well. So yeah, but bypassing the mind, it's the way to go, and it's going to make it easier for everybody to get there that way as well.
And so when you channel through the circle of light and Cendrine, the different galactic beings that you connect with, it feels like they're offering a lot of teachings, like wisdom, right? And even some knowledge.
Tons of
But
frequencies.
also, like, right? I mean, it feels
Yeah.
like that is kind of like, I mean, it's the mind sort of trying to comprehend these different concepts.
Yeah.
But then when you're channeling, are you embodying that high vibrational frequency of those beings so that, when people are in your presence, when you're
Yeah.
channeling, they're not only getting the benefit of the wisdom,
Yeah.
but they're getting the transmission of that high vibrational
Absolutely.
frequency?
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, one of the things that I would teach, and another way, if people want to become familiar with my work, is I've got a podcast called Coming Out of the Cosmic Closet, which I talk a lot about this process as well, is that the process of channeling is opening up we provide a gateway to allow these broader energies to come through. It's like piercing the veil, basically, piercing the veil of the mind. And these broader energies come through. And even as a channel, what I am verbalizing is maybe 15 to 20% of what's coming through, if that, 5 to 10%, 5 to 20%, depending on how familiar I am with the energies. Because sometimes I also channel a broad range of energies. And I've channeled the sun consciousness. There was a phase, for example, when I was channeling the sun a lot. It's very good for purification. The first time it came in a conference call, I'll just get like sun, and then masses of energy comes in, and the people on our conference calls feel the energy, like it's validated by the people who feel energy in this way. The next time I channel them, I'll be able to verbalize it more, because in between that time of the first channeling and the second channeling, my biology, the biology of my brain, has learned how to develop, how to take those frequencies and those codes that are coming in energetically and learnt them enough that I can now start to verbally channel it. And it becomes more visceral in a material way, in a physical way. When you can hear the words of a channel, you're now having a physically visceral, multi-dimensional experience, because it's been your physical senses can hear the words. But the energy aspect, when we're opening up that gateway, and yes, for us as channels, a lot of our purification process and the personal development work is for those frequencies to become embodied in us as a cellular, at a cellular level. So again, even when we're not speaking, we're holding the presence of the energies that we've channeled, like a lot of the times, like, and it's not even, I don't even say it's me, like I'm that great, but sometimes people will have this like huge reaction around me, and I, even as a person, have to remember, oh, they're feeling those frequencies that I embody from the work. Like they might just feel like a lot of love for me, or they get reactive because the energies, the high vibration might be triggering something for them. And as a channel, you kind of got to sit in that space and understand all these things that are going on, so you can hold the space for the activating energies that are coming through. So it's like you're opening a gateway, you're becoming an embodiment, and then you're verbalizing some of the material that's coming through energetically. And then as the collective attunes more to when I started channeling, people weren't talking about galactic beings. They weren't, there wasn't all this conversation in the years since I've been channeling. That now it's so much easier. You can go down the street and be like, yeah, I'm part Syrian. No one's batting an eye, you know, because the collective has been attuned over time to biologically even receive this as being more normal now, so we can have more of a conversation. But initially those frequencies are coming in to start that process of attunement, so now we can have more of like this hybrid experience and be like open about our hybrid multidimensional energies and stuff like that. So it's really a process, and a big part of what we teach is that the biology and the embodiment of the energy. So when you come and receive frequencies about anything that you're trying to learn. I mean, I do this with skydiving. I started skydiving and I was older, and so it's harder for me biologically relative to my friends. But when I'm in the presence of a world-class skydiver, I use these tools to download their consciousness into my biology, so I can learn faster than maybe somebody typically my age getting into skydiving, if that makes sense. So I can get into mastery. So there's practical uses for us to be able to like download this stuff. But it's very important for people to understand that this is a biological experience as much as it is an emotional and energetic experience. Because if you want to have new visceral, experienceable, multi-dimensional experiences, you need to bring the energy into your body and into your biological system, the neural pathways, so your brain can actually generate this for you. Sorry, long answer, but it's a big
beautiful answer. I loved every minute of it. I loved every word of it. Thank you. I have a much better understanding of it. I also have sort of a physical sensation of it as well. So thank you for sharing that.
A lot of our work is opening up the body to receive.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Right.
And relate so much to so many things that you're sharing, Georgia. I really like the ability to put into words the energetic process is always a mastery, as you said, that comes with practice. As we ourselves, we can attune with this. I see like as a gigantic block of information, and only as I speak the word, it's only like maybe 10% of the actual process of energetic transfer that is happening during a channeling session. So people can often feel a little bit fried because the nervous system does not know how to react to this foreign frequency, because the frequency is so high. And a lot of people are not used to be in the vicinity of such high frequencies, that the nervous system goes into this survival reaction of like, oh, it is not normal, it is different, it is therefore dangerous. And so it is very important, as we were talking before, to actually work with the body to know how to relax the nervous system. Because if the body says, oh, this is dangerous to connect on such a level, and I'm receiving that, I'm feeling uneasy, I think like it is crazy, it's like, just stop thinking, just regulate your nervous system through the breath, through deep breath in the lower belly into the heart center. Because eventually it's like, our human is the one reacting with this big oscillation and this separation template, because when we work from the heart, the soul knows already. The soul is already ascended. The soul is already within the one unified field. The soul already knows what we are here to be doing because the path has been laid before us. So like the soul is like, let's chill out, let's enjoy life on earth. Why on earth are you even like traumatized with like recession, with COVID? It's like who cares? Why do you even worry about your taxes? Like all of these things, like it's like why? It's like, I'm here to have a ball, I'm here to have a great time. It's not going to be easy, but if you do it with joy, then the ride will be better. So it's actually every time there is a huge challenge or like a very dark experience or something that is frightening in the world, it's just like I need to give a few deep breaths in my heart. It's like literally, what difference does it make into my life? Nothing. I have a roof above my head, I have a bread on the table, and even more than bread, I have all of the amazing food in my pantry, and I've got like a good physical body. Yes, it got its aches and pains, but it's still beautiful, perfect body. So when we know how to surrender to the intelligence of our heart and to open up our channel to actually connect with our light being friends, it's like we never feel lonely alone anymore. We never alone, we never separated, we never scared, we never wondering if we're gonna have enough money, we never frustrated, nothing. All of that is actually part of the separation templates, of the plugging of the low 3D matrix systems. Once we work with the heart portal and we know how to connect with our soul, the soul will say, you've got this. You're an angel walking in physicality. You are already a master of light. Otherwise, you would not be on planet Earth right now. Like all the people that gather and that, join our circle, that we go to Sedona, they sign up for the Great Awakening. They so knew exactly what they were signing up for. And they still said yes. So it really shows the amount of power that we have. We are freaking multidimensional, infinite, and eternal. Why are we worried? Why are we looking at, like zooming in a tiny little problem? Oh, that's my bank account. Or that's the war on the planet. And that's really unpleasant. It's like, if we can look up and look at the really broad picture, it's like, I'm a freaking badass soul that has lived eons of lifetime before that, and that will live eons of lifetime before that. I want to make this life a misery. So when I turn up like maybe 80 years old and I look back and say, oh, that was a shitty life, that's on us. We have to really stop falling into victimhood, which comes from separation template. We are no victims, we are infinite creators of realities. We can literally create in front of our eyes. It is only that once the power flow through our own heart, because we're able to tune into our soul, our channel, we know who we are channeling, we know the amazing, like the beings we connect with as our soul family, they are beyond what we could even express in words. And so they're always saying, what are they saying? They say, you're good enough, you can do this, keep trying, we've got your back, you are infinite. And so if we can really say like, yes, I know, I'm just gonna go for it, instead of going like, oh no, I'm not good enough, like it's not for me, I'm just gonna stay miserable for the rest of our lives. It's like, pick up yourself, find your sword of light, find a warrior of light inside you, and then just walk the way every single day on dismantling the construct that is the projections of your own subconscious mind, belief system that is reinforced by the matrix and all the people of, that are around us, as like separation, like the good ones versus the bad ones. So often we hear people coming and saying, oh, like the earth is going to split in two, and all people that are not choosing up, that live in 3D, we won't see them any longer. All of these reptilians, these dark forces, is like, what on earth? Why do you focus on the separation template when we are going through the ascension process, the biggest moment in humanity, when we are here to freaking feel that everybody is actually ascending? There is no, because as you were sharing, we are all going through upgrades through the sun, solar flares, photon light, Schumann resonance. There is not my neighbor, who I think is like not a nice person, that is not receiving these upgrades, because I think in my own projections, because of my own wounds and traumas that I cannot deal with, and I don't understand how to, really hold myself into my own love and self-healing, I'm just going to start judging other people, saying, oh, like these ones, they are not ascending. It's like every one of us. So when we come into the vicinity of channels like Georgia, myself, and the other channels that are going to be present, because we met them already online, and I can really feel that we are all on the same wavelengths. It's like we really learn through many different words, languages, personalities, because Georgia has a unique personality, unique experience, unique style. I have a unique personality experience on Earth, and so is like Rob and everyone else there. So we can have all of these kind of light bulbs happening, and it creates this huge vortex of accelerated evolution. So it's like a radical transformation. We are not the same human that we were before an event like the ones that are going to happen in Sedona. We are not. It's impossible because of the amount of light frequencies that we are uploading. And very often when we come into an event like that, people are already upgraded now because they saw they already said yes. So if you listen to this and you're wondering, oh, I really think I should go, but I'm not, your soul has already said yes. It is just your human coming to, oh, yes, let's organize this with time, money, kids, work, and so on. But it's like the more you can drop the resistances, and it's like my soul is saying yes. Like when you contacted me, Suzanne, like it was like a huge yes. It was like yes, and then the human comes, what about this, what about this, what about that? So instead of zooming into the human limitation, I was like, God will deal with this. Literally, my soul, God, my high council, they've got this because I am meant to go. So all the people that join in Sedona, they are already in the grid. They are already present. They are already uploading codes and frequencies that are going to allow them. Like if you listen to this and you're going to join, you're going to witness yourself transforming even before receiving a transmission. And then after that, there will be months, sometimes even years of integration the code received. So this is why it accelerated evolution. And it is the first time in humanity that it happens. So it is very exciting. So me and my high council, we work on really showing people how cool it is. So we don't go like all the time, oh my God, because we know life on Earth is hard. Here I'm channeling, so my human is very much in the high frequency of my fractal. In a few hours, I will be again with my 2 daughters on school holidays. It's just there, and my human will be like, oh, God, beautiful human life. It's just like, let's go to yoga. I need a breather from the fighting. They bicker a lot. So it's like we always go back to the soul. The soul knows all of these things. It's not they're not important. We don't bypass emotions. We don't bypass trauma. We don't bypass anything. But we go through that from the heart portal as the angel behind our human. So we talk a lot of that with in the teachings that we share, is that we are the angels behind our human. My human is having a very hard day dealing with whatever experience is happening now. What does my human need? My human needs a warm blanket. Maybe my human needs a shoulder to cry on. Maybe my human needs solitude. Let's give that to my human. But my human is not identifying 100% with that experience because I am the angel, be present, guiding my human. So I'm always there stabilizing my human, helping my human heal all the aspects of my human, like inner child, past lives, whatever is happening with my human. It is all happening in the now, and in the now is infinite. Because of the principle of quantum complementarity, if we are completely present in the now, we have infinite amount of energy, because it's only when we are fully still that we can know the energy that we have. So instead of moving into the past, into victimhood, and into the future, into fears and scarcity, and read about the future, what the future is going to be like, because we are losing energy. So therefore, we cannot be completely focused on our heart center, aligned on our heart center, on the truth of our own divinity. If we are present with every breath that we feel, every breath that we take, with every experience that unfolds, then we can experience ecstasy. And ultimately, this is what we are here for, is to live an ecstatic life. So whatever experience unfolds, it's like, great, another teaching moment, another moment for me to embrace even more love, even more communion with myself and the world and all the people that are around me. My human might look not like this, but that is part of the deal. I signed up for this. My human feels triggered and all of these things. It goes into all the distortion of the mind. How can I attend my human and kind of bring it back into unity consciousness? Because therefore, life becomes like a game, and a nice one. And we know better how to play it, because literally it doesn't matter what happens. Like, like it does not matter, because we live from the heart. So come to our events, because we'll have a lot of fun with
Thank
Suzanne
you so much,
and everyone
Cendrine.
else. Yes, it will be
I
amazing.
love all that wisdom and also some guidance, and I just feel your energy, and I want to live an ecstatic life. I typically do live a pretty ecstatic life here in Sedona, but come to Sedona and you'll experience the ecstatic ecstasy in the vortex. Georgia, is there any last words that you'd like to share with our audience?
Yes, thank you, because there is this. I want to give whoever's watching this one of our big teachings that we have. And if you go to my Instagram or any of our recordings or whatever, we talk about this idea when you come into union consciousness and you move out of the struggle of what we call the little me, Cendrine's calling my human, the little me and the limited sense of possibility, still in the illusion of separation and survival consciousness. So a lot of people might be watching this going, oh, I really want to go, but yes, how am I going to do this? How's, he's going to take care of the dog, the kids, how am I going to be able to afford it and stuff like that? We get caught into, the soul pressure is saying go, and the little me is putting up the resistance, which is usually more about the resistance to change and the transformation that's going to happen, taking the little me out of its known zone, its safety zone. But one of the most powerful teachings that we have to activate this, using the whole, the consciousness of everything to support you, to be in alignment with what you call your soul, we call it the divine heart blueprint, is to flick on this switch, to go into your heart and flick on this switch and think about all of the consciousness of everything, every single cell in every animal, tree, every person, every traffic light, absolutely everything, to move out of the separation where you feel like it's me against the world or me versus the world to get something done, and to flick on this switch and then see it, that the whole world is on my side working with me and for me. And you can actually see that separation wave that would make it a challenge to get to the event actually rework the matrix, so everything is working with you and for you to bring you to the event if your soul is calling. And you will be amazed, again, if you surrender and you trust that process and you stop trying to figure out so much how you're going to do it with your mind, but flick that switch on first. And then as things show up, you start to respond to them. Like maybe that conference you were supposed to go just miraculously canceled, and now you have the time available. It's really, really powerful. It's super simple, but we have to get out of that little me separation. Just imagining flicking on the switch, the whole world is on my side working with me and for me to bring me to this. And just like be in the heart and trust it will happen. That's the flow. But that little switch does really cool stuff.
I love that tool. And it feels like I could use that for a lot of different things in my
Oh,
life.
everything. Yeah, yes,
Wow.
yeah, absolutely. Like whenever you're like, I know I want this, but I don't know how. Just get out of that oppositional separation mind. Just go, you know what? The whole world is on my side. Even for relationships, like if you're having a challenge with one person, say, and you go, you know what? The whole world is on my side working with me and for me. You don't even need to know what happened out in the quantum matrix. Maybe somebody else talked to them about something that flicked on a light switch, or maybe they had an experience that they learned. You don't even have to know. They're just going to show up again. Receptive, when before they had been defensive when you were trying to fix it from the little me. Just go, okay, I let go. The whole world is on my side working with me and for me. And then get ready to receive how it comes back.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. I'm going to start using that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
To do not just with what I want to manifest, but to have more harmonious relationships with everybody, no matter what path they're on or
Absolutely.
what frequency they're resonating at.
Exactly, because they are you. So if you're opposing anything in the quantum reality, you're really opposing your own energy force. So you flick that on, be seated in the heart. That's the 5D, baby.
5D, baby. That's what we're about. Co-creating 5D, the new Earth. Beautiful. Yay, in Sedona. Wonderful. Well, my true calling is to have these gatherings of like-minded souls and bring in these remarkable, heart-centered, soul-inspired people who are dedicated to the awakening and ascension of humanity, really sincerely, in a heartfelt way, want to enhance your lives and to see you have more joy, peace, experience more unity and harmony, and also to activate your light codes and raise your light quotient. So yes, and it's very conducive here in the vortex of Sedona. Also, Georgia and Cendrine and Rob Gauthier, the ET Whisperer, are going to be engaging in a galactic roundtable. And that video of that conversation is on the homepage of the website. And also the CE5 contact experience that Ruben and Rob are going to host under the stars with Lital Cohen adding sound. And so, yeah, a lot of really fun, exciting things going on during this event. We sure hope you'll join us in the vortex of Sedona for our Sedona Transcendence Retreat. We send you so much love from our hearts.